you have a change of heart, wanna make a brand new start. You've been living on the edge with forever as a pledge. No more giving it up, turning me loose, setting us free. Baby, keeping it real, cause we got what takes for sure. There's no turning back anymore. Can you see it's all a game? Life goes on all the same. If at first you don't succeed, all you've got is all you need. If you believe, then stake your claim.
Hello, Rise and Thrivers. Welcome to the final Monday of September. Can you believe that it is September 29th and it is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? So welcome to Rise and Thrive Together. And in case you're new or you need a great reminder of who we are and what this show is about, we have created Rise and Thrive Together as a vibrant community committed to educate and empower and equip you to get the results that you want for your life now through real talk and taking real action. So welcome, Rise and Thrivers. Reminding you that, wherever you're watching this, we definitely have our Rise and Thrive Together Facebook page. We also have our Rise and Thrive Together YouTube channel and our Instagram, Rise and Thrive Together. So if you are part of all of those, fantastic. If you're only part of one of them, please go and like and follow us on the other channels. And if you really want to get involved more, kind of share about who you are and take the conversations to the next level, join a Rise and Thrive Together community. That's the only thing that's different, is add that community. So here we are, September 29th. We are on episode 127. And I am excited to have one of my favorite people in the world to do 127 episodes with, Raquel. So what's up, sis? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Hi, Rise and Thrivers.
Yes, what's up? Good. I mean, I want to take a moment and just keep on reminding myself it's September 29th. We are at the end of this day and a few hours left, going on to the last day of September, getting ready for our next topic of October, and, really deeply getting into this last quarter. And I just think it's perfect when it comes to our topic that we have been spending so much fun with.
Yeah, it's surreal, but then when I look outside at 5:30 and it's starting to get dark, I'm like, yep, it's very real. Summer is over, even though the temperature is not bad for those who are up in the east, up north from Reg, who's in Florida.
Yes.
It's a reality check. Something we need to start getting used to is the darkness early in the daytime.
Yes.
But it's all a part of it. So it's awesome. I'm excited to, just recap our month of decluttering. And it wasn't just about decluttering the mind. It was about decluttering other areas of your life. And we've had amazing guests on, and I think it's tremendous. So, let's help the people and let's recap. What stood out to you, Reg?
Well, we've had Shannon last week, which was really incredible to have her on, as she hit some stuff that I didn't even kind of think about. We were talking about the behind the scenes, there is that mind stuff, and also just looking at, people in our lives and groups that we're kind of in, that kind of people come for a reason and a season. So I thought that was really, really fun. And that the thing that hit me the most, we've touched about this throughout the years, but really never took a long time, was boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the thing that really stood out for me most right now at this moment. I'm just going to go to last week, because was the boundaries, how important boundaries are when we are talking about having these results in the life that we want, and we tend to Shannon and I are very similar about being these people pleasers, and boundaries are really important because it kind of like we kind of just, if we're constantly saying yes and not putting up boundaries and constantly people pleasing out there, we're really not getting anything done that we really want to do. So, I'm really like looking at that in my life. Like, where am I focusing everywhere else and not really focusing in on those things, like making space, right, for what
Mhm.
really matters. And so that kind of hit me big time. I mean, it's something I know, but there's a conversation of knowing doesn't make a difference, right? Good for you that I mean, and for those of you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, we all know how to lose weight. And then if I'm complaining that I'm not losing the weight, I'm not really taking the action. So that's really what I looked at last week. Like, what is stopping me from having the results that I want, to make space for the things that really matter to me? And I was looking at that area of boundaries. So that's really stood out for me a lot.
Yeah. It was really interesting when she brought up that point of boundaries and setting them. And it actually made me think about how many of us set boundaries with
Mm,
people in our lives and with ourselves. Do we know our own boundaries?
Do we know our own boundaries? That's a great one.
Yeah. And another thing that stood out that wasn't from Shannon, but it was more from Susan, and I used it tonight because I was invited to be part of a committee for theater, and it is that no is a complete sentence.
Oh, I know. Woo! That is like hot.
So I did. The host asked this evening, what's something that you have learned in your life, and people gave whatever. I didn't even read what they wrote because I just didn't. And I wrote that no is a complete sentence.
Yep. It's great that you said that, because that has been absolutely my number one. I don't know, no matter what class I'm in, no matter where I am, going grocery shopping, that was definitely a light bulb. And that no of being a full sentence kind of fits in beautifully with the boundaries, right?
Hmm.
Like, that no as a complete sentence for me is knowing myself and being able to be like, here's my boundary. It's not working, it's like not, I'm not available, whatever that is. And that just opened up space for me to be able to then do some, you know, work that I needed to do, or just took care of myself. And yes is a full sentence too, right? You know, like I like that as well. So I love that. It's been fun.
Yeah.
That's one that stayed in.
I'll
Awesome.
share something with you guys. Since I think it was since last week, my bed has been clear. The bed in the other room has been clear. It's nice to walk in and not see all the clutter and pile up of clothes. It's so hilarious to me every time I walk in. But yeah, yay. So yay me.
Congratulations. And that goes perfectly with why we're Rise and Thrive together as a community. The more we have a consistent conversation and we take in that information and the knowledge and we put it out there, the action has started, right? The action has started.
Exactly.
You have moved that forward. Super amazing.
For
I want to
now.
give a shout out to like Ellen right now, because Ellen, going into our boundaries and stuff, she says, I learned that people I try to please really didn't care if I did or I didn't.
Mm.
Ellen, like, bomb drop on that one, because I'm going to take that moment and really give you that one. That the people that doesn't, and oh, it's not working tonight. Sorry, Ellen. Up here comes. Wee, boom. We've just it's important for us. We took some time doing that, but I love that, Ellen. That I learned that people I tried to please really didn't care if I did or I didn't. Sis, and you went.
Mhm.
So tell me about that.
I think that's actually phenomenal. We give too much thought sometimes to what it is that people think, and oh my gosh, what if they believe this and they believe that? And most of the time people don't care. They're not seeing it the way we are. It's just us being in our head, which is a dangerous place to be. Sometimes you need to take a step out of there. That space is very cluttered. So it's really interesting that you share that point, Ellen, about people didn't care whether you made the change or you didn't make the change. The only person it's important to is us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I really like that.
I do too. And what really came to mind for me, and she's going some people, not all. So she's also, and why I'm putting up there and we laugh, is about that clarification, right? It is that clarification. I realized in this week how clearing the clutter is about me taking time to really communicate myself, clearly to people, effectively to people, because they may not care or not like, but it matters to me, right? It's making that space for what matters to me. And it makes a big difference when you've got all of this happening in your head and then you go and share it. And then all of a sudden you have this sort of expectation, which is, not good in the first place. Have an expectation. Good luck. Maybe it's like a 50-50. Will it work or not? But if I really want that result, that outcome to happen, I need to be clear. I really, really need to be clear about that. So I've been using the clearing the clutter to take the time before I communicate something to somebody in a voice message, a text, and definitely over the phone or in person. And it's been this short amount of time. This week has really lots of amazing things have moved forward quicker than I've ever had it happen. Like we're only talking 7 days has gone by. So, and people just like call because I've been very clear and very intentional about what I'm saying. So that's what I got from you, Ellen, about, they don't care if you did or you didn't, because like Rock said, it's us. But if it matters to us, maybe, we will act a little differently and talk a little differently and things will move a little bit more smoothly.
Right. Really great, Ellen. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I want to put up this other one that really kind of hit me. We've shown some clips, I think we did in the beginning of the month. So this one also kind of hit me with Shannon about finding purpose through pain and adversity inside of this clear the clutter, clear the mind. So I would love to get people's feedback on this. I'm going to put this up for a second, see what everybody thinks.
That's at the intersection of passion and pain. What's at that?
I found my purpose at the intersection of passion and pain.
You found her purpose at the intersection of passion and pain. I absolutely love that. Now, most people are like, pain? Who finds anything in pain? What do you mean by that?
I honestly say, thank you, Cancer. I'll take it from here.
Woo.
Wow.
Yep. A lot of amazing things. I mean, yes, I had a little amputation. I had, a double mastectomy. I am super grateful that I caught it early. And here I am, still 8 years later. But I truly believe my purpose is to be able to help others navigate their cancer journey and focus on early detection, saving lives.
And I put that out there like intentionally. One is, October coming up, which is just on Wednesday, is a big month on breast cancer awareness. But like inside of clearing the clutter, clearing the mind, space, I thought it was really interesting as she was sharing, her journey of finding her purpose inside of passion and pain, which we talked about before. I was like, ooh, because most people, I'm not going to say all people, like Ellen said, not all people, but many people, when we're in this pain area and adversity is happening, it's really, you get stuck in that clutter. You get stuck in that overwhelm. And so much can take over that we're not moving forward. Now, Shannon said it didn't happen like that, but through being in community, finding the right doctors, finding the right people to talk to, she's very much, in many different communities, that all of a sudden that adversity and that, pain that she went through, and she just shared about her recent divorce, all of a sudden got her a purpose, right? Found this passion and this purpose where she's now out speaking about early detection. She's one of the top people, speakers around that. And also just doing a whole bunch of other things, starting up a whole new financial group and helping people around finances. So it's really interesting when we can go through that adversity and that pain and all of a sudden take a breath and really see the good stuff that happens out of there. So I had to put up that clip because that was another thing that really hit me deeply. And Ellen's jumping in again, saying pain is a wake up, a jolt, physically and emotionally.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, and she's going, and metaphysical. Like Ellen's on it. She's like, and metaphysical. Yeah. And what do we do with that, right? Can that clutter us up and stop us and get us, yes. And it also, like, Shannon said, and we've talked about many times, I don't know how I want to say this, but like really is that, like you said, wake up call where it can provide space for us to have some things even that we can probably didn't even imagine is possible. Possibility can show up and great things can happen from it. So she's grateful for cancer and said thank you. It provided a whole new way of living her life that she probably said she would have never been able to do before. So I really love that.
Yeah, I've found that some of the greatest lessons that I have learned in life came as a result of challenges that I
Mhm.
faced.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell my students, I'm like, you don't grow when you're comfortable. You grow when you're in that uncomfortable space, uneasy, super challenging space, because being there forces you to think differently. Being there is going to force you to do something you've probably never done before, and that's take action. So it's so interesting where it's those times in my life where I've learned my greatest lessons is with challenges that
Yeah.
have come in my life.
Agreed. And if we go into music, which is one of my favorite things, and I think anybody is listening out there, we like music. Love to get like a musician on here, and that'll be something to put in our box. The best albums, if you watch any singer, songwriter, and especially when you watch those documentaries, best albums, best songs, come through their pain, their adversities, everything that they went through. They get to take that action, get it out on paper, and then boom, create some of the most incredible songs. And most of the time it's because they've gone through something. Doesn't mean the song itself is many people you can hear it in their songs, but some of them could be the most beautiful songs, but it came through something that they were going through and they just needed to get it out. So
Mhm.
I love that, you know, absolutely. Absolutely. What else did you pick up for this month, sis?
How about my laundry? I'm
Ah,
gonna,
nice. You
that
got
one
me
was too
hungry.
easy. Um, I like this topic of decluttering. I feel like every now and again we need a reminder to just take stock of our lives, our mental state, physical, all of that, social even,
Yeah.
and see when it's time to declutter. When I asked Shannon a question about what did she have to clear out, her answer was people.
Yep.
Like, oh, yeah, sometimes we do have to clear out people because as we move from one level to the next, there's some people that get left behind. And because they've served their purpose, they were there for a reason and a season, and that time has passed. And I know for me, that's happened in my life with people
Yeah.
where they were left at that other stage because they just weren't, and nothing against them, they are who they are, but they just couldn't go to that next stage with me.
Yep.
Right. And we live life in levels and experience it in stages. So the next stage, they couldn't go there. There was just not that space or bandwidth for them. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not knocking anyone. I'm just saying they are who they are. And for where I was going, that person or those people served their time. Doesn't mean I have any less love. It just means I understood their assignment was for a reason or a season.
Yep. Yeah, that was a beautiful one as well. I have a really great question for the community. So if you're doing replay, do hashtag replay, right? And if you're right here with us, which I know you are, I'm curious to the audience, have you, and if you have you decluttered an area, right? What area have you begun to declutter? Are you thinking about decluttering? And definitely, if you have began or even completed something, what space has it made it available for you? So it's kind of a really deep question there. And it can be as simple as Raquel doing the laundry piece of that, right? I would share with you a very simple one like Raquel's. One of my classes got canceled this afternoon. Weather here in Florida is crazy. By my house, beautiful. By 10 miles away, massive storm, lightning hit the AC went out. Not healthy to teach the class that we were teaching. The class got canceled. And I right away was like, wow, okay. Was everybody safe? Everybody safe. Everybody knew. I came home and I was having a conversation with someone about doing some self-care. But here's the thing. I walked into my house and this was self-care. I didn't even realize this was self-care. I have been avoiding this particular area in my house that has like just a lot of papers. And it took me an hour and a half to go through these papers, little dining room bowl that I have, and then something else. I went through every single paper and shredded it, like with gratitude. Like I saw it. I was like not mad because my husband has been like on me about this and on me about this and on me about this. And I said, it's going to happen. I promise it's going to happen before the end of the year. And he's cool with that. But there was something that shifted knowing that this conversation's happening every single week. And I was like, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this to show this off. It was like this moment of self-care. And I realized self-care for me was like honoring, really getting sorted in what was in there. Like what was there for my daughter? It's a workspace for her, for my husband, because it really matters to him. And it means something to him when he walks into his house and he sees he's a minimalist, right? We've talked about this before. And for myself, do you know, I found 2 like upcoming scans that I have. Now I have them in my phone. I'm going to say that most likely they're at the doctor's office, but I can't say 100%. Well, now I have them. Don't know what would happen. It could have went there and said they have it, but what happens if I went and they didn't? And it was just, but the joy of like shredding it, seeing what I accomplished, I was like, whoa, checks that I get that I deposit through my phone, like for months and months, I got to honor that money I made. And I was like, shredded it like extra money, like, woohoo, like not like a loss. It was just so amazing. And when they both walked in, they were like, like, and I was happy. I was like sitting on the steps. I was relaxed. And I honored myself saying exactly what Ellen says. Do we need permission to be happy? Yeah. Ellen, I say I do. Only to myself. I'm the only one who can make myself happy. No one outside or externally can make me happy, right? So I need to give myself permission to be happy, right? I am it was joyful, guys. I don't know if anybody can relate, hashtag relate, but it was so cool. And it was amazing what I found, what I accomplished. I got connected to people. I found addresses and I'm like, oh, I'm going to write them to. Super cool, but it was crazy how much I was like what I saved from 2023, 2024 was like,
wow,
2 years, like just in this small area. It was like this much, but there was a lot in this much. So now think about my whole entire house. It was cool. So
wow.
Yeah, I had to share that.
And it doesn't have to be anything major. Right. And if it needs to be for you, then it just needs to be for you. And that's okay. But some people, they start small. And what's one small step? What's one small thing that you decluttered over the time that we've had this conversation for the month of September? What
Yeah.
did you declutter? And another question I want to follow that up with is why? Why did
Yeah.
you have to declutter whatever that is, whether it's a person, place, thing, whatever? The question is, why did you have to declutter that?
Yeah.
What was it that was about that thing or person or place that had you feel, for lack of a better word, stuck?
Yep.
You know, because knowing the why is really important.
Very. I love that. Ellen's like jumping in. So Ellen, you're going to be a special guest here very soon. She's like so proud when she addresses a pile of whatever that looks like and wants to be removed. She feels like she climbed Mount Everest, straightening up her closet. That's awesome, Ellen. And like asking, like Raquel just asked, why, right? What is that? And she's writing, I needed it for me. Like she needed to do it for me. Like her, not for me, but for her. You can come over, Ellen, if you'd like to do mine. But again, I said that's going to be done by December 1st. But there is that why. I mean, I'm thinking about that. Yes, I have family members, right? So I have a husband who's like, sort of like me, right? And then my daughter is like, Mommy, you tell me to clean my room, but look at this. There's that role model, mirror reflection. I mean, you're telling me to clean my room and you get upset with me, but daddy's been asking you for months, right? So there's that obvious reminder. There's the obvious reminder. And to, straight up real talk is it bothers me. It really bothers me. And then I'm going to think about this, guys, and I'll throw it in the community. Because it's like, what's that why? Why is that bothering me? Because there's that self kind of like, like I'm hiding. There's something there I don't want to deal with. I don't know, right? Like we're not going to do the analytical piece of it, but that's the work we're talking about. There's something there. Why did I avoid that for so long? I can give you excuses all you want, but that's not the point. Raquel's like looking at there's something underneath that. Because we all have excuses every single day. But that's not how we work here. Because if we allowed excuses, you wouldn't see us. We would not have 127 episodes in a row. So thank you for that question. Everybody hold me accountable. I'm going to look at that why. There's some work behind that. And I did it. And there's something that, like, I'm talking months, guys. We're talking months. So interesting. And as you could tell, months that had years worth of something shoved somewhere.
Yeah.
Interesting. Here we go. Ellen's jumping in because Ellen's the winner of tonight's show. It haunts me also. Maybe we think it's not important, but so then why does it bother us, right? So we don't think it's important. I get you. That's the excuse. I could be like, I'll do that later. I'm tired. I'm like, but then why does it bother us so much?
Exactly.
I'm like, right now I can only do surface, which is like, because I have like two people in the house that like constantly like telling me, I wonder if I lived by myself, I'd be like one of those cluttered. I don't even know. Oh my God, that's like, who knows? I don't know.
That's so funny.
It's true. It's true. I'm like, looking at all this. Things to work at, things that make you go,
Exactly. And what's making me go right now is I'm wondering what's the topic for next month?
Ooh, well, thank you for asking, Raquel. And I know that there's this beautiful Canva, that's coming up for November. Ready, guys? Drum roll.
October.
Oh my goodness, it's October. So just skipped right over October. Not that it's an important month like somebody's birthday.
It's absolutely an important month.
You notice I'm like, see? It's like that clutter. We're just gonna skip October. So thank you. October, here we go. Everybody. October is fall fix-ups to refresh, repair, and reimagine your life. The RTT cubed. I love it. Fall fix-ups, refresh, refresh, repair, and what was the last part? Hold on. I'm gonna
Reimagine.
reimagine your life. See, can't even reimagine it. That's exciting. That's exciting. I love that.
Me too. I am looking forward to this fall fix up. And in case you all are wondering, what does that mean?
I know. I was going to ask you, what does that mean?
Join us next month.
All right, I think I'll show up for that one and see what that looks like. So we're coming to the end. So remember, guys, just because this topic is complete for the technically month of September, nothing is ever complete. It is a constant journey. So continue to take time. I'll give you my tip, and Raquel will give the tip and finish us off. But my tip is, this is a constant journey. Put that, if it matters to you, like Ellen had said, prioritize that. Put that in your schedule. I just got that downloaded to me right now. We have what's important to us, meaning like if we're working or we're going to see family or an event or whatever that is, why not calendar in there something we want to declutter, rather than waiting for spring or fall or some topic or some challenge. Why are we not continuing to do that? And that's the second tip. So prioritize. Are you willing to put it in your calendar once a month? I don't know. You guys get to say whatever you want to do. And when you do, look at that why. And then when you're done, see what opens up for you, what that space made available for you. So that's my tip. Anything you want to share with them?
Well, I do want to share something from us, but I need to read it. So
Yes.
please. So as we're about to close out the month of September and tonight's show, we want to pause and celebrate the journey that we've been on together. All of us, all our listeners, all our viewers, every single person. Decluttering isn't just about creating a neat space. It's about creating, guess what? Breathing room for your mind, your energy, and your future. We've talked about the different layers of clutter. We talked about the physical, we talked about emotional, and even mental, and how each one of those can weigh us down in ways we don't always realize.
Yes.
All right. The good news, because there's always good news, right, is that every single step that you take, whether it's cleaning one drawer or letting go of that one thing you've been holding on to, it makes a difference. We've had guests on this month and they've shared what is it they've let go of? What is it that they had to release? And I want you guys to we want you to remember, it's never about perfection, but it is always about progress.
Yes.
It's about asking, does this item, this habit, the thought serve me right now? And if the answer is no, giving yourself permission to release it without guilt. Do you get that? It's never about perfection. It's always about progress. When it's time to let something go, whether that's a thing, person, place, let it go. Let that person go and let it go without guilt. All right?
Yes, I love it.
And so, as always, as we conclude this chapter of decluttering, but we'll still continue to declutter, remember, you are not in this alone. Never alone, but it's always together that we can rise and thrive. Till next time.